Hello and welcome to marketingteacher.com. This lesson is called What is Marketing, and the purpose of this lesson is to consider some basic definitions of marketing and the marketing concept. There are many definitions of marketing. So let's start as usual and go to our free lesson store, which contains about 300 free lessons on marketing, and go down to Introduction to Marketing, this section here. And this lesson is called Marketing Definitions. The better definitions do focus upon customer orientation and the satisfaction of customer needs, as this early section says here in the lesson. Now, if you're new to marketing, don't worry too much about this. It is important to learn marketing and to consider the consumer or customer as central to the marketing process, and the satisfaction of his or her needs are vitally important. There is a history to marketing, and this hasn't always been the case, so it's important for us to restate our marketing vows at this early stage. The lesson that we're going to look at today is going to consider two of Philip Kotler's definitions of marketing, which are very closely related. Kotler and Armstrong here and here. We're going to look at the Chartered Institute of Marketing definition, which is fundamental to the British professional body on marketing. And then we're going to wrap up by looking at the very important American Marketing Association's definition of marketing. Right, let's pick out some words here in Kotler's definition of marketing. Marketing is the social process by which individuals and organizations obtain what they need and want through creating and exchanging value with others. Now, being as this one is our first definition of marketing, let's spend a few moments picking it to pieces just to find out exactly what it is constructed from. So, the first very important term here is social process. Now, obviously, social, because we're looking at people and the interactions between people, and we've already said that better definitions are focused upon customers and their orientation and the satisfaction of their needs. So it's social in that respect. Obviously, it's not manufacturing as a process. Process important too, and we'll consider relationships shortly when we look at the next definition, but it's about moving the consumer from point A through B to C to D to E and so on. It's a process. Another important term is need and want. So there is a difference here. Obviously, we need air to breathe. We need food and water to survive. But if we look at other brands, let's take Apple's iPhone, for example. Do we need to communicate? Do we want to communicate? Do we need to take pictures? Do we want to take pictures? Needs and wants have subtle differences, and when you look at brands like Apple's iPhone, you appreciate that what perhaps was once a want, a requirement, is now a need. We need our smartphones to communicate with our friends, to download apps, to manage our diaries, etc. So needs and wants are always very, very interesting when we're looking at it from a marketing perspective. Back to Kotler's definition again, and interesting for us as marketing learners is the term exchange. And there is a video on the exchange process, but in essence we're exchanging goods and services for goods and services, or we're using a medium of exchange, credit cards, dollar bills, euros, as a medium of exchange. So again, exchange process is important to the definition, and so it should be. And the next term here, which is interesting to us, is the term value, because adding value is a term which is often talked about in management, but value to me and value to you are two different things, and it is this value that we pay for. For example, a pair of blue jeans probably costs $5 or $6 to manufacture, but if it's a pair of very cheap hypermarket or supermarket bought jeans, then they will probably be $12 to $15. However, if you're going to buy a pair of diesel jeans or a highly branded product, you may pay $100, $150 for the same product. Now, the value in there is not only in the jean and the material and the manufacturing, but also in the brand which you will pay for in terms of the extra value. Plenty to learn about this as you learn more about marketing. The second definition, if we just go back to marketing teacher's lesson, is also by Kotler, and we'll pick out one interesting term here. Again, he's talking about, we have the term process, and again we have the term value. Of course we do. Value just here. Interesting for us here is about building strong relationships. So going back to our whiteboard again, this is fundamental to modern marketing, the term relationship. Because if you think about the brands and the companies that we deal with, it's about long-term relationships. Now, you have a relationship with your parents, with your partner, with your children, with your friend, and it's an ongoing and evolving relationship. And fundamental to modern marketing is a term called relationship marketing or customer relationship management, which are similar. Relationship marketing, in that you are recruited as a customer, you are retained as a customer, and products and services are extended to you. Lots to learn about here as you go through other lessons on Marketing Teacher. However, be aware that the customer relationship is vitally important. Back to our lesson. The Chartered Institute of Marketing definition also has marketing in there and takes it more from a management perspective, but again sees it as a process, A to B to C to D, and also looks at customer needs and requirements. The interesting bit for us here, or the interesting section of this construct, is identifying, anticipating, satisfying. So let's just pick those out in perhaps a different colour. We identify. You identify what customers' needs are. You satisfy those needs with products, services, solutions, and then in the future, in the longer term relationship, you anticipate them. What will needs and wants be in the future? And if we go back to our Apple example here, what are your needs? Are your needs to communicate? Are they more subtle than that? Are they to have a brand with which you can associate, which says something about you? So your needs are satisfied when you buy the iPhone with the fabulous product that it is, but it is something which evolves. So there's an anticipation in the future, well, having got to point A, what will point B be? And how do we actually provide a product which consumers will want into the future? So this is all about anticipation, which is fundamental to the CIM definition here. Finally, but by no means least, the American Marketing Association, again, recognises that marketing is an activity along the same lines as process. Delivering and deliver and exchange. Again, we spoke about exchange offerings and value, which we've come across again. The American Marketing Association definition encompasses a lot of what Philip Kotler says, but also the flavour of the Chartered Institute of Marketing definition, but takes it from more of a global and societal perspective and looks at customers, clients, partners, but also society at large, which is very interesting to us. Finally, let's take a quick look here at what Michael J. Baker, the British academic, says. The enigma of marketing is that it's one of man's oldest activities, and we know if you go back to Pompeii that they found wine jars and bottles with motifs and stamps which are basically original brands, so it's not new, and yet it's regarded as the most recent of business disciplines, which obviously it isn't. It has a huge history. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the lesson on what is marketing, and that you'll carry on and study some more marketing topics with www.marketingteacher.com.